All Cat 4 men to roll out procedures, please, along the home straight. And I've just been told we are live on YouTube. Welcome in if you're watching online. Thank you for joining our broadcast here tonight, our final night of regular season racing. We still got 10 minutes to start. Preparation's still underway. We'll get things going a little closer to 7 o'clock. Again, rollout for Cat 4 competitors today is up now. We'll have a brief rider meeting before the racing starts, and we can kick things off. Tonight's going to be a fun one. Our regular season finale coming up soon. 10 minutes till start. And of course, if you're here in the Velodrome, don't forget you too can pop on the smart device and support us a little bit online. We just passed our last goal for this season. We were trying to hit 4,000 subscribers on YouTube, and we managed to hit that number, so we're pretty excited about that. We'd like to march right on to 5,000, and of course, we're going to do that this week. I just know it. That's called overly and maybe even derangedly optimistic, but that's okay. You can help us by hopping onto the YouTube app right now. Search JB Velodrome. We're streaming live. Hit the subscribe button. That'll help support us in our growth as we continue to share the good word about the work we're doing here at our Velodrome to fans across the globe. If you're out there enjoying the stream right now, before things get started, don't be afraid to hop into the live chat, say hi, let us know you're here and enjoying racing from wherever you are. It's always fun to see where people are watching from. If they're, we've had some viewers even just, I think it was just last week or 2 weeks ago, had someone from watching from China, one of our regulars. See who's our longest away viewer this evening. If you're watching back the racing later and not watching it live, thanks again for coming back and visiting us here today. Leave a comment down below and hit that thumbs up and that subscribe button to support the channel. Tonight's racing, we've got ourselves a nice mixed program today in 4 categories. Our point-a-lap race, the French exit, and a scratch race, plus the Kiddie Kilo. Registration's still open right now if you're here in the Velodrome with us. Kiddie Kilo sign-up still open for a few more minutes here. You can get yourself signed up with the kid at the red Jerry Baker Jr. tent behind the grandstands. Postdoc Brewing and Locust Cider serving tonight in the 21 and over beverage garden, and behind the grandstands we have QT Food Truck and Dreamy Drinks. They'll be here through the evening with us to support your needs for beverage and, of course, delicious burritos, tacos, quesadillas, and the likes. Calling all riders on the infield for a brief rider meeting, please. Athletes for a quick meeting on the infield. Riders, gather up for a brief rider meeting on the infield. And with that, welcome. Our racing program is ready to begin. Friday night here at the track. Welcome and thank you for joining us. Our Friday night finale. 4 categories racing, 3 different races today, and of course, the Kiddie Kilo to close out this beautiful regular season. Coming up now, the Cat 3 Men to the Rail for our first race tonight. The point-a-lap race for all 4 of our categories. And riders away in the neutral. First race tonight, it's a point-a-lap. Racing is going to be pretty quick in this race to pick up points. You got to be pretty aggressive and frequently on the front, since the first rider across the line picks up the single point every single lap. So there's not a lot of points available, but you got to work up to the front to get anything here in this race. A reminder, of course, that the final lap in a point-a-lap race is worth more. So 3, 2, and 1 on the final sprint. So an opportunity to pick up some very important points at the end of the race. Again, the final lap worth 3, 2, and 1. This is a 12-lap race. So really, there's not a lot of points on the table to pick up in the first place. So riders are going to want to ride this one smart. Find their chances to pick up some valuable single points here in the point-a-lap. Riders all together will get their start out of turn 4 from the whistle from our starter. And there's the signal that racing's underway. Point-a-lap begins now. Looking for our early leader here in the race. With 11 to go, we've got 2 already starting to roll away from the group here. Your first lap is Zachary Simon from Coalition Cycling. Looking over the shoulder, he sees Otis Hatfield in the blue there, right behind him. Your early leader, Simon with 1. The field not too far off the leaders right now, just within maybe about 20 meters or so as they round the corner, but it does look like your front 2 will still be fighting over the points. Currently positioned is still Zachary Simon. He'll pick up another. 10 to go. Your leader with 2. Everybody else looking enough for the first points. That looks to be a jersey of ACT Racing closing in. Must be David Takahashi making the closing effort and catching the front 2. Brings it back together, and riders sitting at the blue line. And with the catch, we'll get a new leader here to the front. Or is there going to be Simon again leading the lap? It is, but the challenge is, I still think 339. It looked to be the rider on the inside unofficially. As ACT came running at it, Simon gritting his teeth to get that last little push. Looks like he will pick up the score on the inside. 339 confirmed. And look at this. Rider of the Year jersey pulling away from the field. Ryder Carlson, number 316, picks up his first point. He's racing the colors of our logo because he's racing in the current Rider of the Year jersey. That's a series we run through the regular season. Riders that pick up points in our featured race in the program. That's going to be one race per Friday night. They get points for finishing well in those fields. Whoever's at the front of that contest wears the blue and red jersey you see on Ryder Carlson. The rest of the field, leaving him some good room here. Ryder will pick up his second. Your leader is still Simon with 3. Carlson now in second with 2, 7 to go. On the lead of the field, Jared Elog, number 340 for Apex Racing, is going to pull up and let a few more riders through. So they're still holding on to a decent gap here. Now here comes ACT racing up on out of the saddle a bit. I think that's Takahashi again, starting to roll this thing a bit more. Trying to chip away at this lead that Ryder has earned over the last couple laps. A rider out of Portland pulling up another big one here. Ryder Carlson for the Team Epic squad. Continue to show off nicely here on the front. And that will be his third point. And that's exactly when he'll pull up and let the field catch. He's now in a tie for the lead with Zachary Simon, both riders with 3 points. New leader off the front. That's 6 to go. It'll be 5 by the time they get around. 2 riders with points is Ryder Carlson with 3, Zachary Simon with 3, and a tie for first. And your new rider with their first point is 3:15, Oscar Pachilmariki for Team Epic. A little bit of catch here from your leader on the field for Coalition Cycling back there. I think that's Sam Carp, number 342, that was pulling the field through. It will be number 315 picking up the second point. Oscar now in third place with 2 points. 4 to go. There goes Takahashi, number 312, leading the field. Otis Hatfield right behind him. That's 2 riders on the front of this group without a point yet. So they got to get up to the front. Remember that the final lap is worth 3 points. There's a situation here in which these riders that have been off the front end up in as low as, I guess, second, maybe third place, depending on that final sprint if they can't get some more points here. That final sprint still so valuable here in the point of lap. With 3 to go, Oscar doing enough to join the leaders. 3 riders with 3 points apiece. Pluckelmariki, Carlson, and Simon tied for the lead. All with 3 each. They're all in this group, of course. Here comes a couple riders now kind of swooping over the top of Oscar, who's going to fall back several positions. Looks like your leader from the start of the race, Zachary Simon, is going to take back over. Looking in pretty good form here at the end of 2025. Simon should be able to pick this one up at 2 to go. Simon with 4. Takahashi keeping it close, but he's done a lot of this tonight and still hasn't been able to find that first point. But the leaderboards could look very different after this final lap. There's no riders really with any significant lead here. 3 riders within a point of each other. Simon in the lead with 4. Carlson and Pluckelmariki with 3 each. They're both in this field as Simon backs off and lets someone else get this point. It looks like it'll be the first point for Takahashi. 1 to go. 3 points on the front of the race. Simon backing off a little bit here. Now maybe starting to try to run at this group, maybe sitting out that sprint, trying to fight for this one. But now here comes your rider of the year. Ryder Carlson trying to time this last lap. Otis Hatfield following in. If Ryder can get even 2 points in this, he'll be your winner today. Root Tomko also waiting for an opportunity to jump. Going to fly into this one. Your U23 champ trying to fight for the big final one. Ryder Carlson has just enough for the final 3 to confirm that victory. Rue coming in for 2. Otis Hatfield for 1. Ryder Carlson should be your winner with 6 points after it's all said and done. And officially, Simon with 5, I think will end up, with 4, will end up being in second. And your Cat 3 men will exit on the back straight into the warm-up circle. 3 categories remain for this point a lap before the Kiddie Kilo. Riders who still have 3 more races. About, what does it look like? 38 laps of racing before we get to the kids. Bringing your next group up now, Cat 4 men for the point a lap. Riders to the rail. Field in the neutral for another point a lap. This is not just the end of a regular season, it's the end of a very special season. Our 50th anniversary season here today. We are continuing to celebrate and think about this fantastic year of racing. Thank you all for being a part of it here once again tonight, whether you're out there on YouTube and tuning in, supporting us from afar. Of course, our fans that make their way into the park every single week to support us. We hope you're enjoying this beautiful night. Our second group about ready to get their start. And there's your whistle, Cat 4 men. There's the home crowd here tonight. I heard a few claps this time. It's a nice relaxing August. We've been kind of tired here for the last couple weeks. A heat wave a week ago. All our families are getting school ready. Your announcer's getting school ready. It's a lot. 4 already pushing away from the group, including the leader for this group. That's Rock Alexander in tonight's Rider of the Year jersey. Another of our younger riders trying to fight for the front. Not quite able to get this first lap, but it's going to be Dominic Clark instead, 4:33. I heard some talk before the racing. If you're relatively new to our Velodrome, or maybe just a younger rider or fan not knowing some of the things around here, hopefully I can get you all the information you need and you're learning about some racing while you're listening today. Our Velodrome is a 400-meter Velodrome, so the same length as running your high school track. 4 laps is roughly a mile on this facility. Pretty long laps here. Great place to learn. Good educational place for our future athletes, including so many juniors you're going to see. Like in this field, there's a lot from our Jerry Baker Junior Development Team. They're the ones in the black jerseys with the blue and the red. So you got some pretty young riders out there. And tonight, one's hiding the fact they're Jerry Baker Jr. That's your Rider of the Year in the blue and red in the middle of this front 3 on the red bike, Rocco Alexander. So we got some racing age, 12, 13, 14, 15s in here. Here's another one of our younger riders, 4:39, is Edison Clark Hoxie with his first point for Team Epic. That's 2 in a row for Edison Clark Hoxie, number 439, now your leader. 2 riders with 1 apiece, Rock Alexander and Dominic Clark in a tie for second with 1 each. It's some variety of high accelerant Eddie. Fast Eddie, quick Eddie, speedy, I don't remember which one it is. But Eddie's off the front looking pretty good here tonight, trying to pick up some points here early in the point a lap. Trying to find yet another here. Ooh, bit of a fight. He'll find another. Team Epic making the point a lap look pretty good here on the front currently with Alexander right on the wheel. Gavin Fairbanks catches the front 2, making it now a field of 5 kind of in front of the rest of the straggling riders trying to hold on to the front fast group. And with 4 to go, number 478 across the line, Kevin Wallen for Team Oregon picking up his first point of the evening. Still your leader, Clark Hoxie with 3. 3 riders with 1 point apiece. Dominic Clark, Rock Alexander, and Kevin Wallen all tied for second. Got our front 4 coming onto the home straight. Heads up for our riders here. Woohoo! Checking the camera to confirm. On the outside of the inside. That was a pretty close sprint for that last one. And it's Clark Hoxie, 439 for his 4th point. Again, that's confirmed for Edison Clark Hoxie picking up the last point on the review. Here comes Wallen, 478. 2 to go. Kevin now in second alone with 2 points, pushing Clark and Alexander down to third in a tie with 1 each. Your leader, Clark Hoxie with 4. The rider of the year has fallen out of this group of 4, so surviving up here, one of our youngest in the field, Gavin Fairbanks, making his way into the break of 4. Good riding for the young junior here, getting in the midst of this group. With the bell ringing. 1 to go. Whoa! Clark Hoxie, I think, again on the far outside. Picking up point number 5. Working on that upgrade here at the end of the 2025 season. Not sure how far away he is from getting it, but looking like he's maybe getting informed for it here to finish 2025. The fight, he's going to be taking over some riders here. They're getting a little bit crazy here through turns 3 and 4. He's got a little bit of traffic, but your 2 leaders coming onto the home straight are fighting for the final points. Clark Hoxie down the sprinter's lane. And Wallen on the outside will pick up 2. Fairbanks will pick up 1 on the final sprint, which will end up being a 3rd place overall for Fairbanks. Edison Clark Hoxie picking up the final 3, ends with 8. Your leader, Wallen, with 2 on the final sprint, ends up with 4. Fairbanks with 1 gets a tiebreak against Alexander, and Clark ends up in 3rd for the point a lap. All riders, you are done. Exit on the back straight into the warm-up circle. Fantastic first race tonight for our Cat 4s. Exit on the back straight. Let's bring up our open women to the rail for the point a lap. There's Evelyn. It's been a while, Evelyn. Shout out to the Redmond High School Marching Band. Of course, shout out to them. Are you kidding me? I'm an announcer for 3 months out of the year, and I'm a band director for 9, so you know where my heart has to be. Come on now. Open women on the rail, getting set for their starts. Point a lap. If you've been looking for the opportunity to get out and learn how to race a track bike yourself, I was talking about this earlier, our 400-meter track facility is a fantastic place to learn for all ages, not just our juniors. Adult classes available as well during the summer. Of course, this is the end of our season. Nothing's really available on our schedule in 2025. However, you'll want to keep your eyes posted to @JB Velodrome, our Instagram, maybe our newsletter. You can sign up for that at the website, or just check the website, velodrome.org. In the spring, we'll start opening up registration for classes in 2026, including our 4-hour adult track class, which is enough to get you ready to go to racing in the novices on Monday nights. That's how we've traditionally done that. We'll also be opening up Camp Velo again next year for our racing age 8 to about 15 or so kids. That is through the city of Redmond. Registration, again, will be available next summer. Great educational opportunities here at the Velodrome. And there's your whistle. Racing's underway. A point a lap, 12 to go. Away for the last couple of weeks, Ruud Tomko has come back to the field. Look out for the Rider of the Year in this group to be competing, although they are double dipping this evening. Also, your recently marked U23 Elite Champ, Ruud Tomko, I might add, is back from some great competition in Colorado Springs. It looks like the rider I would pick to watch for this particular race on the point of lap, Lexi Snover, making an early impression. The rider from Fount Cycling. This one's really, I think, right up her alley. You get a point for going fast every lap, but that's exactly what Snover loves to do. Just keep the tempo up, consistent speed. You know what Rue says is, I can find that, and then I'll just accelerate around you at the last second. So Rue's going to try to figure that out here soon and maybe start fighting for some of these points. Snover in the lead with 2, everybody else looking for their first point. Rue has now caught the leader in position and found the front of the race. Next rider up is Charlotte Westover for the Jerry Baker Juniors, wearing the white helmet, the orange bike, right in between the rest of the field. Currently being led by Sarah Lynch and the rest of the chasing riders. The fight for the next point, we'll see here between Tomko and Snover if there's any battle. Looks like Tomko's going to pick this one up on a cruise. Tomko for second now with 1 point. Snover in the lead with 2. 9 laps to go. This is an open 1, 2, 3, 4 women's field, so we do have a mixed group here tonight, both in category and age, and that's what we've been doing all season long. And one of our missions has been to find more opportunity and more invites, more open doors for our women, our femme communities to find their way here to the Velodrome. We're always looking to bring in new riders. If you're looking to start up, we have great ways to discounts on our starter bikes that we can help you out with, our classes that we do. Very welcoming. We give all the help you need to get out here and start racing, and it's because we just want to see this sport continue to grow. Snover always leading the way, picking up another point here. Now with 3 points, your leader, Ruth Tomko, in second with 1. Taking turns on the lead of the lap, Tomko now with 2. So your leaders are just trading blows here, and this is because they're working together to get away from this field. They'll sort the race out later. For the meantime, Tomko and Snover benefiting from cooperating together. What this really ends up being is a race for first and second between these two. If you go all the way back over to turn 2, there's our field, a group of 4 together. They're currently all sitting with 0 points. However, of those 4, someone's going to win the final sprint, and that's going to be your rider in the overall 3rd place. Unless this race really gets changed from this point out, which I don't expect to happen, that's kind of how this thing's going to play out. Tomko and Snover continue to trade, so it's Tomko's turn this time through. They're now at 3 points in second, Snover with 4 in the lead. What they're thinking about now, the two of them, is at the end of this race, whoever can get that final sprint is going to get the big advantage and take over on top. So it's going to get not so friendly here in a bit. For now, they'll continue to work together as a temporary team. That's Edwards that found the wheel. She can't work on the front of this group, so she'll join on the back and continue to follow the quick pace. While Tomko and Snover continue their full lap pulls. Snover for 5. Tomko still with 3. 4 laps to go. Kiddie Kilo shouldn't be heading to staging if you have not done so already. Time to get ready to go. We'll be calling up the Kiddie Kilo after this race. Once again, Kiddie Kilo, time to think about staging. Behind the red and blue fencing around the beverage garden is the preferred location. Come on, head over. After the next race, we'll start calling out our riders for the Kiddie Kilo. Snover now starting to fight with 3 to go. That's point number 6 for Snover, and Snover now kind of done with this back and forth game. If you've not gotten a chance to watch this rider throughout this season, Alexi always has extremely good endurance, great training in the offseason. She always comes ready to race and has great overall power and speed. A good consistent effort here from the rider from Fountain Cycling to end this point a lap, just pulling away from the tough competition. That's point number 7 with 2 to go. If you're a fan of Swift or know anything about what that kind of indoor riding can look like, the simulated racing on those power trainers, that is actually one of Snover's great specialties. She's a very incredible athlete on that particular discipline, and she's brought that strength here in the last couple of years to our track. We've been benefiting from seeing her speed. Getting that final 1 to go mark, she's happy just to stay out the back of this field and let this race conclude. Snover for her final point. In the point lap before this final sprint upcoming, Tomko getting the bell, 1 to go. The field is going to get a bell as the leader already received that bell. So leader is coming in for 3 points. The bell will ring again for the field, so that race for third is coming up. Snover, the rider in green, will be your champ. Let's follow his field around now and see how this race shakes out for third. No one else has points in this group, so it really is just turned into a scratch race for this field of 5 that's now in turn 1. Sarah Lynch in the lead for the group, one of our Jerry Baker Jr. riders. Right behind her is Charlotte Westover, another of the Jerry Baker Jr. team. That's another younger rider, Stella Cafiso for Valkyr, number 218, another junior competing for third overall in this group of 5. Now starting to go through the turn. It's the fight for third between the juniors. Lynch really powering this out from the front, looking hard to beat. Westover's trying to find the jump here to challenge. Lynch just keeping that head down and trying to motor all the way to the finish. Lynch will get third from the bunch sprint. Cafiso was starting to catch there at the end, but it will be Sarah Lynch in third for that final sprint. Riders are all finished up on that lap and connects on the back straight. We are calling our Cat 1-2s to the rail. Everything looks clear to go.
And yes, as Corey said, Kiddie Kilo after this race, so if you are not yet to staging, do so now. That's behind the beer garden. All Kiddie Kilo riders behind the beer garden. We are staging by age. Yep, go behind the containers and go stand by your age.
One final point a lap for the Cat 1-2s before the Kiddie Kilo, and on to our next races after that. You know the rules by now. Points at the front of the race only until that final lap. 3, 2, and 1 to the leaders. Group looks together, about ready to get their start. Racing underway, 16 to go. Point a lap for the Cat 1-2 men. That looks to be the colors of Coalition Cycling at the front at 15 to go. Give it to Lynch, your early leader. Gavin Newman in position to fight for this next one. Looking down between the legs to see where he's got the rest of this competition, and it's going to be the Stars and Stripes of Keegan Fairbanks rolling up onto his wheel. Fairbanks and Newman. Newman already shaking his head a little bit as Fairbanks has got the run of it. Fairbanks in a tie for first now with 1. We got ourselves a battle early on. Here comes Harrison Devine, also back from Elites. We didn't have him last week, so good to see the rider now on the front of the field who's had a really great campaign here in 2025. Picked up some nice victories between Madison competition, a couple of great finishes, and some of our longer scratches. Going to try to figure out tonight what he can do. Here comes Chris Wilson to spoil the fun here, though. Can he get it? It'll be the rider on the inside, it looks like to me. That's 128, Harrison Devine. Wilson thought he might be able to surprise him there for the struggle for that 1 point. Couldn't quite get it done from my eyes. Martin going to take over now. And there's no touching this rider on that lap. Good acceleration from the group. 102 will easily pick that one up. Maybe already in position to get another. He thought about pulling up for the field, but realizing there was a big gap there. Might as well just kind of cruise and see what happens. Force somebody to catch you. Looks to be Elliot Crowther, if I'm not mistaken, coming off the front of the field. The rider in the teal jersey. Trying to catch Martin. Again, who's putting in just enough effort to kind of make this tough to catch. He's already so close to the finish line, but I think Crowther's got this one dialed in with the acceleration. 5 now riders with 1 point apiece. I've got Andrew Martin with 1, Fairbanks, Devine, Crowther, and Lynch, all with 1 point in a 5-way tie. 5 separate riders. Crowther on the lead of the laps, got 2 with him, though. Wyatt Paul making his way up to the front now, number 103 for Waterline Racing. Picking up his first point, making the 6th rider to earn a single point in the race. Just means that final sprint might be a very big tie break. All riders with the same number of points are sorted out in the finishing order based how they come across the line on the last lap. So your tie break, again, the final sprint, might end up being very important, very deep into this field. As another rider coming up for their first point is Mike Robson, number 126. Make it 7 riders with 1 point each. The 3 off the front all have a point. The 1 way at the front plus the 2 directly behind. In the next little chase there, we have a rider from the show to Seattle without a point yet, followed by Harrison Devine, one of our many riders with a single point. So plenty of the points leaders here at the front. Here comes Wyatt Paul back up to the front, and he'll get his second, your first leader to reach 2 points. Paul in the lead with 2. Martin, Fairbanks, Robson, Devine, Crowther, and Lynch all with 1. As Paul picks up the point, he'll swing up high. Harrison Devine coming right down the middle, threads the needle and takes over. He's looking pretty quick here. Leading through the turn, still in good position is Devine, trying to pick up his second point. A tie for the lead between Wyatt Paul and Harrison Devine, both with 2. It's 7 to go. Back in the chase, it looks like we've got a group of 4. Gavin Newman in that group, starting to accelerate from the back of that group, now trying to work his way across this bridge up towards the front. Devine picks up point number 3 with 6 to go. Wyatt Paul up near the lead position here, but just couldn't get that last point. Here comes Gavin Newman rolling up to the front. Although looking a little bit gassed from making that bridging effort, the rest of the field got encouraged to kind of speed up behind Newman. As Newman finds the front, you can see things kind of chunking up a little bit here in turn 3. Devine looking around, Paul looking around, thinking about maybe time to jump. With 5 to go, Newman gets out of the saddle. He'll pick up his first point. 6 riders in a tie for third with 1 point apiece is Martin, Robson, Fairbanks, Newman, Crowther, and Lynch. Harrison Devine leads with 3. Wyatt Paul in second with 2. Leaders will be seeing 4 to go. Here comes Chris Wilson now taking off at the front, and 4 to go to the front of the race as Chris Wilson was leading. Here comes Andrew Martin to pick up a point, number 102, with his second, now in a tie for second place with Wyatt Paul. The Stars and Stripes, one of our earlier point getter from the very early part of the race, makes his way into this break of 3. That's Keegan Fairbanks, Chris Wilson in here, and Andrew Martin. It's only Wilson in this group without points up at the front. He's trying to figure out a way to get it, maybe working from behind Andrew Martin, but Martin's not going to let him. He'll pick up his third, now in a tie for the lead with Devine as Martin pulls up. And this gives room for Wilson to swing down low and keep things quick. Devine's ready to respond, though, and is already trying to roll his way up towards the front. Fairbanks falling off the pace a little bit, along with Martin. Both need a little bit of rest. But Devine was on some fresh legs, and Wilson says, "You got to be kidding me. I'm still not going to get this point." The timing from Devine could not have been better there to find the lead. Wilson says, "I would disagree." Give him a break. Devine for another. Point number 4 takes the lead with 2 to go. It looks to be number 110, Josh Sherfy, coming out of the field for Coalition Cycling. Nice acceleration from the front of the group. Breaking away quickly. You can see the field going a little bit slower under the Stanley sign. They're going to give lots of room here for Sherfy to get away. Bell's ringing with 1 to go. Devine picks up his 5th point. Martin with 3. Paul 2. Fairbanks, Newman, Crowther, and Lynch with 1. 1 to go. In your final lap, there's still 1 point available. It looks to be Elliot Crowther coming out of the field in good position for the single point. Over to the front, it looks like it will be Devine, your winner for the point of lap, getting the final 3 points. Number 128, 2 points to Sherfy, and 1 point coming out of the group to Ludo Max, number 131. And just like that, Ludo Max is going to move up into a top 3, top 4 finish. Make it, I think, maybe even 5th, if I want to be as quick as I can on the guess here on the math. He's going to find himself in a tiebreak with 6 other riders, but finishing up in front of them all. Kiddie Kilo coming up here in a moment. Bring them down. Our first group to the start line.
All right, this first group looks pretty fast. Remember, they're doing 1 lap and then they get to hang out in the grass. This first group, are you ready? Yeah! Oh my goodness. Woo! Ready, set, go! I don't think you needed a mic for that one. That was loud. There you go. Stay down low on the bottom portion of the track. There you go. Make some noise. Corner one's doing great. Yep, stay on the bottom portion. There we go. And then once they finish, they're going to hang out in the grass and cheer all the others on.
Another great tradition, pardon me, you can plan on returning in 2026. The Kiddie Kilo, a big success for these last few years. Thanks again for all the kids for making their way out. We've got a nice big group here. Here comes your first finishers from lap 1 for the Kiddie Kilo. Nice job, all to our racers. Woohoo, fun finish there. Great racing for our youngest athletes here tonight, all the way into the infield. No extra laps, please. Stay on the infield with your friends there. Thank you very much. Nice work, everybody. Couple more finishers before we'll bring out your next group. Nice work, nice work. Great racing around the Velodrome for these young riders. Bringing the speed and a basket down the home straight. There we go. Nice work. Next group, come on down to the start, please. Your next group, come on down. A weekly Friday night tradition for us in the summer, the Kiddie Kilo. We got to start behind the start line. Come on over. There you go. Good job.
All right. I have this group 2. They're looking very speedy. Group 2, are you ready?
Yeah!
You gotta wait. My goodness. Here we go. Ready, set, go! Parents and guardians, watch out. There are people behind you. There are people behind you. There we go. The junior team is keeping them all down low. The junior team is being human shields. Ooh, we got the full face group out in front right now. Looking very serious. Look at that leg speed. Oh my gosh. Someone's flying up the outside.
Yeah, I was going to say that the pass on the track is pro. I do appreciate the move. Many of our very own Jerry Baker Jr. riders started out going around in the Kiddie Kilo, so you never know. This might be the beginning of a very healthy and sometimes expensive hobby. Racing at the Velodrome. Nice work. Here they come. Your first finishers for the next group coming in on our second lap around the track for the Kiddie Kilo. Hit on into the grass. No extra laps. Thank you very much. Nice work.
There we go. Yeah, get all the way into the grass so people don't run into you. All the way into the grass.
Number 468 is a regular with the pinwheel and the flowers on the front. That is just a winning combination. I don't care where she finishes in the field. That is the best bike of the bunch. I love it. I have learned to define this as one part racing.
We're just doing one lap though. I'm seeing kids sneak
One
out.
lap, one time. We're working on that part. That's the tough one. Okay. Yeah, I've learned to define this as one part racing and 2-part fashion show. That gives me a lot of joy when I think of it that way. The other part that's wonderful about it, of course, is all the smiles on the kids' faces. A good reminder about how much fun it is to ride our bikes, especially here in front of the live audience. Having fun on a beautiful Friday night with all these wonderful people in Marymore Park. The track is nothing if not a really big community, so we are so glad to have so many of you with us here tonight. Next group down. Let's bring them up to the start, please. Next group down to the start line, please. All the way down to the start line, all the way down to the low part. There you go. All the way down for the start line. Might have 2 groups here. I don't know where we're getting the split between these groups. Oh. Amar, you've got another really big kid in the Kiddie Kilo sneaking in.
All right, this is one, I think, big last group here. This group, are you ready?
Yes!
Yeah, they are. Whoop. Ready, set, go! Make sure you look where you're going. Ride nice and straight. We got one super big kid in here. There we go, 1 lap, and then you get a hang out in the grass. 1 lap.
I'm pretty sure Harrison Devine has the inside track about how to really develop his strength. So the Cat 1-2s that are really tired of seeing Harrison Devine race away from you, you probably should be out here in the Kiddie Kilo trying to do an effort just like him. I mean, there's got to be something about this that has been working to his benefit. I'm sure it's probably improving his cadence or maybe working on some really isolated muscle groups that are not usually part of his preparations. Final group for the bikes. We got our push bike group coming up after this. Once again, this will be back again next year. One of our most popular events here in Redmond, the Kiddie Kilo. A fun lap around the track and encourages our families to make their way out to the Velodrome and be a part of our community. You can count on it being back again next year. Information on our website. Just search for Kiddie Kilo Velodrome on your search bar. If you head to our website under the education, you'll see a page there for a Kiddie Kilo experience. You can check the dates and get all the information there. Know it's always free. Know it's always fun. And it's always on a Friday night. Speedy finish here at the front. Look at that gap. My goodness. Pulling away. Oh, with the bike throw too. It's really good form. Keep on going, kids, into the grass. Great job. Look at this bunch finishing. Well done. There's a big bunch coming through. Good chance to make a quick little applause for the kids. They'll appreciate it. They hear you. Nice job to our youngsters. Way to go. You don't have to wait for Derby days to have a parade of bikes. We get to do this every single week. Are you kidding me? That's what I'm talking about. The weekly parade around the Velodrome.
We got a lot of runners in this group too.
Yeah, that's always impressive. Some of them with the 360 cameras, they got to get every angle of their kids' trip around the Velodrome. You can't miss it. Used to be a Kodak moment, now it's an Insta 360 moment. You're almost there, you're almost there. Oh, just before the finish line. It's heartbreaking. Nice finish. And the final event, our Push Bike Derby. Our youngest group coming up for their quick run down the finishing straight. Up next, we go back to the top of our racing order. So Cat 3s are on deck. A fun one coming up, the French exit, one of our favorite new ways to race a points race. Coming up after this one, the Kiddie Kilo's final event, Push Bike Derby.
All right, we got a few more figuring it out. But for this one, spectators, are you ready for Push Bike Derby? Let's make some noise. Yes. Okay, remember, this is just the straightaway. Ready, here we go. Ready, set, go!
Look at them flying through here. Nice job to our push bike tricycle riders. scooters. Way to go. Great racing, everybody. Good riding on your bikes. Got some training wheels in action here. The sitting scooters, we love it. No reason not to be part of the Kiddie Kilo. Look at this fun. All right, friends, families, it is time. You may start making your way out safely from the infield. Look out for a few more push bikers that are trying to find their way to the finish. You can now make your way out, families and riders. Great job tonight. Anywhere you'd like to exit, you may do so. Wherever it's comfortable for you. There'll be a little bit of a line at the gate, so if you want to skip the line, you can also jump over the railing whatever you'd like. That also could help. Great job for everybody here tonight. We are now working our way out from the infield. You may exit wherever is best for you, including the gate you came in, or you can hop the fence, hop the railing anywhere you'd like. That might make it a little bit quicker for you and your family. Again, you can shortcut the line if you'd like. We're looking for all families and kids to make their way out from the infield, please, so we can continue with our racing program tonight. All families, please make your way out from the infield. Riders and families, find your way out, please. Thank you. We're so fortunate to have this great and supportive community here. How about one more round of applause for all of the Kiddie Kilo riders for tonight. Great riding.
We did have a child push bike, like scoot so fast they ran out of their shoe. So if you're missing a shoe, we have a shoe over here at the exit to the Velodrome. They were so fast. Ran right out of a shoe.
As soon as the track is clear, we're going to call up our next group. Cat 3s are on deck for the French exit coming up next.
This is your last chance for a Kiddie Kilo finisher sticker. I see a lot of helmets and bikes with them on them. It's fantastic.
Cat 3s to the rail. All right, longtime fans of Velodrome will probably still need the explanation of the French exit. We did it a few years back. It's kind of worked its way into our race book more than once this year. This is like third time I've been commenting on the French exit. It's pretty. It's become a fun one. It's a points race with a twist. Rider that wins on the first sprint gets an extra bonus more than usual. The last lap is no longer multiplied. So the first lap, the first point sprint, the first place rider gets extra points. In this case, it's going to be tripled to a total of 15 points. If they'd like to keep that triple, they have to exit before the second point sprint to keep that bonus. If they exit, they get to have that points total, and they don't have to race the rest of the race. So they don't get the DNF, the do not finish. They get to retire with that 15-point advantage, get to sit on the sideline and watch the rest of the race. Everybody else is going to be racing a normal points race, essentially. 5, 3, 2, and 1 to the leaders on all the other sprints. Only that first one has that special rule. And racing underway. Now, if it's a moderate tempo, this is a great one for a fast-finishing sprinter, somebody who's got really great power but not necessarily wanting to race a whole 25 laps. This kind of gives them a window of opportunity to be like, you know what? I don't think I can play the long game. I'm not here to win the war. I just got to get the battle done, and I can get out of here. That's the approach that allows this French exit to kind of be a bit of a fun one to both watch and spectate. And also, imagine the gamble these riders are going to have to take and think about how they approach this. There's been most of the cases we've seen, if somebody takes the French exit, they end up at least top 5 or so. So the math is pretty good. The longer the race, the riskier that is, so the multiplier goes up. So if it's a longer race, it gets quadrupled or even up to a 5 or 6 times multiplier, depending on the length of the race, to try to help make that a better incentive to take the French exit and watch the race from the sideline. But again, that risk is if you just took the 5 points and stayed in, would you have been able to ensure maybe a first or second place? But even still, I mean, getting third and only having to race 5 laps around the track, not a bad deal. And some of our riders have even ended up as good as first or second after taking the exit. So it's a fun gamble here in this race format. With 23 to go, the bell rings 2 more times around the track. We'll hear our first bell. Then that special first sprint. First rider across the line will be scored 15. They only get to keep it if they take the exit afterwards. So we'll see how that plays out here in a few more laps. Pretty good tempo here, getting ready for this first sprint. The field really accelerating here over the last 400 meters. Here comes Zachary Simon. You saw him being very active in the early part of the first race tonight. He's trying to launch this thing from about 600 meters back. Already looking in pretty good position here. Mike Ritter, number 321, was looking like he might be gunning for this one. He's still in position to challenge. Here comes Hodis Hatfield as well. Down the back straight is Zachary Simon. Here comes Ritter and Hatfield all lining up for the French exit bonus. Hatfield already feeling like this one's done. Ritter with the catch coming into the corner. Can he take the pass? Simon on the front. Ritter trying to line this one up for the early exit. Ritter has got the finish. Ritter picks up 15. Simon for 3. Takahashi 2 and Hatfield 1. And if I was a betting man, Ritter is leaving this race.
I think Ritter wants some high fives. Ritter's taken this exit. Ritter wants some high fives. He has taken the exit, let's be clear. 15 points.
This is kind of fun. I haven't seen this one yet this year. Otis Hatfield's on my start list twice. He brought his twin. He's such an effective competitor, he had to be on the start list twice just to really look out for him. Hatfield with 1 point is in 4th right now. Takahashi with 2 in 3rd. Simon in in 2nd with 3. Ritter is done racing with 15 points, currently in 1st. Now, if you're the French exit rider, you're hoping that this is a very competitive race. You want the points spread out. You want to see the top of the race being won by small margins. You don't want to see that runaway rider. In this field, I think that's a pretty well set up matchup here between the top 2 or 3 remaining. So I think he might just get his wish and get a very good finish here tonight. Your rider of the year on the front of the group, Ryder Carlson, going to be one fighting for points for sure. We're going to look out for Simon to get back into this thing. He worked hard for that first one. He's trying to recover it off the back of this field. So he may not be able to pick up points here, but right now it's Takahashi leading the field. There's Otis Hatfield right behind. They're also going to be fighting over for points. So in my mind, I'm seeing this looking pretty good for Ritter, as I think this is going to go a lot of different ways, which is only to his benefit. 16 to go. Here comes your second sprint. 5, 3, 2, and 1 to leaders. And if you watch points racing frequently at the Velodrome, you'll be in the habit of thinking of the last lap as being 10, 6, 4, and 2. Remember, that is not the case here tonight. The last sprint is also 5, 3, 2, and 1. Even more good news for the French exit. Karp leading out the lap right now. Here comes Ryder Carlson for 5, Karp for 3, Oscar for 2, and Takahashi for 1. Carlson now in second place with 5. Takahashi, Simon, and Karp I have tied, all for third place with 3 points. Oscar Plekamoriki with 2. Your leader, still Ritter, with 15. Takahashi at 14 to go, starting to drive this thing a little bit. He looked like he'd be threatening this the last race. He just couldn't quite get the gap he needed to kind of create any sort of separation, so he really struggled to find points. But now, off the back of all of these high-speed sprints, right when the riders are at their worst, the most vulnerable, you can see the gap that's been opened up here. That next rider closest to the leaders is Oscar, one of our junior riders, back about 70 meters or so, maybe even a bit more now as these leaders are pulling away nicely. This is Takahashi for ACT on the front. Ryder Carlson, your Rider of the Year jersey for Team Epic, about to make the catch on the front. Bell in 2 more laps. Riders are passing the line, seeing 13 to go. On the lead of the field is Zachary Simon, Otis Hatfield. They're all back here in this group of 5. Kind of leaving Oscar out dangling in front. He's probably going to get swallowed up by this field here pretty soon. And then again, nearly, I'd say now it's more than 100 meters all the way up to the leaders. They've set up themselves in a pretty good position here to be fighting over the 5 and the 3 points. 12 to go. Bell next time. $12 to go. Bell's ringing for our next sprint. $11 to go. Bell's ringing for points. Our field is in place to get 2 points at the front of that sprint. Your leader is nearing a half lap advantage right now. They're going to be fighting over the 5 and the 3. It looks like Carlson sitting in the sprinter's lane. They might have talked this one out. I don't know. Takahashi not doing too much to challenge right now, so they're just going to get lined up. They're trying to stay away. There's the jump. Very last minute, Takahashi says, yeah, no, I need these points. 5 free rider for ACT. Ryder Carlson with 3. The sprint from the field will be Karp down the sprinter's lane for 2. Oscar on the outside for 1. Takahashi and Carlson tied up with 8 in second. In fourth place is Sam Karp with 5. Oscar Plekamoriki with 3. Zachary Simon with 3. Otis Hatfield with 1. And don't forget your leader, Mike Ritter, with 15. Still sitting on the sidelines watching this thing work its way towards the finish. This is not what he was hoping for, having 2 breakaway riders. If Takahashi off the front here can pick up a few more of these fives. He'll be challenging to take over the front. If they battle back and forth, Ritter's got a chance to still hold on to this. So he's hoping that this is going to be a back and forth bout between these two. The breakaway from these, again, this really sets up an opportunity for this to be the new leader from this group of two eventually. They're working cooperatively right now. You saw that there was that fight a few laps back for that sprint. So they still know the points are so valuable. Checking in on our field, about a half lap back over here in turn 2. Just working together like a pace line right now, and I don't think they have any designs to go catch the leaders. They appear to be in a pretty moderate tempo at the moment. Zachary Simon on the front for that field. There goes your leader, seeing 7 to go. Two down the back straight. Here comes your field on the home straight. Seeing 7 to go. Otis Hatfield on the front. Mike Westover takes over number 301. The green of Taco Time Northwest Racing. And here comes that next bell. Interesting to see what these leaders do. Our second to last sprint. They both have 8 points. And now the bell ringing for the field. They're again fighting over the 2 and the 1 in this next upcoming sprint. Your leaders looking like they're lined up for that the same way they were last time we saw them picking up points, with Ryder on the front, kind of expecting the attack. He was looking over his shoulder coming through the turn. It looks like they're going to be trading the lead here. So this time Carlson picking up the 5. Takahashi for 3. Out of the field, the fight from Coalition. Simon for 2, Carp for 1. Based on the way the race is sitting right now, the best that Ritter could hope for is second place, as if Carlson picks up the victory here on the next sprint, that's going to put Takahashi with a total of 14, one off of the rider sitting on the sideline right now. So this will be interesting to see. Again, your top 3 not totally settled here. Ritter at best gets second in the current formation. A possibility for third. Kind of depends how that ends. Out. Okay. Leaders will be seeing 2 to go. Takahashi on the front for Carlson. Because currently Carlson in the lead with 13. Takahashi, the rider in the white with the black shorts there. That's your rider currently in third with 11. Zachary Simon is in the trying to get this chase going. He's way in front of the field. He's made a lot of progress here towards the leaders. Kind of still stuck in a tough spot, though. He's a long ways from helping. He's a long way from the lead. Oh, big jump from the leaders. Here comes Takahashi jumping underneath. Sitting slow. He wants to get this last one. He wants the big 5. If he picks up this final sprint, Carlson is going to lose the lead. He sits up a little bit. Takahashi with an explosive attack. The field sitting up a little high. I believe we'll also be getting the bell, though. Let's see what happens here. That's Simon getting the bell, number 339 on his final lap. A little more traffic here. He's kind of barking, letting him know he's coming. Takahashi underneath. Field's getting the bell. Field's getting the bell. 1 point available for the field. Takahashi is finished, number 312 with 5 points. Give him 16 and the victory. Ryder Carlson coming in across the line now gets 3, also with 16, and a tie will take second place. Again, there's Ritter's third overall, as it's 16 and 16 to take it away from the French exit. Here comes the sprint from the field as Zachary Simon comes across the line for 2. Out of the group is Hatfield and Oscar chasing him down. Otis and Oscar. And it'll be down the sprinter's lane. Otis for the final single point. .332, Hatfield relegated for exiting the lane while the sprint was engaged. .332 relegated out of the point for exiting the sprinter's lane while the sprint was engaged. Time for a 4x5 French exit, 20 laps in total. Now it's a shorter race, so the French exit can't be worth quite as much. On the 20-lap format, you're going to exit instead of that 15 we saw last time. Here you're just going to see a double multiplier, so a 10-point French exit is available for the winner on the first sprint. So again, winner on the first sprint, 10 points to win that sprint, and if they take the French exit, they can hold on to that advantage and watch the race roll on by. If they don't take the exit, by the way, it's a normal points race. They go back to the normal 5, and then we continue to score as normal. Riders in the neutral for our Cat 4 men, 4x5 French exit. .20 to go. Racing's underway. Our first bell, it's 16 to go for the big 10-pointer. Things are going to start slowing down around here. It's the end of the summer. I know it's a tough time. We're all transitioning right back into the fall upcoming here. We've got a few more weeks of racing, though. The postseason does continue on, including some fun varieties here on our Friday nights. Our Monday nights got some postseason racing as well. So our riders will still be out here. Things are going to slow down just a hair as we kind of start wrapping things up. A couple more weeks of some fun ahead of us. In our off season, you can keep up to date with all the things going on around here by making sure you're on our socials. At JB Velodrome on Instagram. Find the Facebook page by searching for our facility. And, of course, our website, velodrome.org, where you can also sign up for our newsletter. Stay tuned for updates of the off-season auction, our primary way to raise funds to ensure this place continues to operate at the level it has been. We have to raise money as a nonprofit. We try to run this place at a great cost for our members. We try to keep things as affordable and open to the public as we can, and as a result of that, our nonprofit needs everybody's help. So in that off-season, if you are able to give and support, or if you have a service, a business, or something you might be able to help with that auction, look out for those asks. And if you're able to, of course, the 501c3 organization, the Marymore Velodrome Association, would love to hear from you. 16 to go. Dominic Clark well ahead of the rest of the field. Here comes Rocco Alexander starting to feel like he wants to get out of this thing early too. Nice turn of speed here for Rocco. He's starting to close this gap quickly. And the pass down the back straight. It looks like the juniors got this thing pretty well locked in. Clark already realizing that didn't work out the way he was hoping for. Rocco will find the 10 points. Rocco for 10. Dominic Clark for 3. Ooh. Might have been on the outside there from Kevin Wallen. I'll have to confirm that finish order between Wallen. Rocco sitting up high. He will be taking the 10. Confirming that Wallen, number 478 for 2 points on that sprint. Brendan Lang, 428 for 1. Currently your leader in the race is Dominic Clark with 3. Your leader out of the race, Rocco Alexander with 10. We'll be watching the race now proceed. The Jerry Baker Jr. and your Ride of the Year. Fort Wade's still on the track, actually. It looks like he's slowing down for the exit now. There he goes. I assumed he'd taken it off the previous lap as I was looking down for the points updates. But there he goes. And since he exits between the first and second sprint, he is eligible to keep the 10. So out he goes. A little break here from the front 5 to the rest of the field. Looks like Javi found some open track and wants to reaccelerate. Gavin Fairbanks is right there to follow his teammate. Kevin Wallen right behind us, number 478 in the light blue and light white colors. The final regular season of our final night of the regular season of our 2025 racing season, our 50th year of operation. This place basically looking like you see here with several updates and renovations and fixes since 1975. It's been resurfaced since then. Again, the addition of the shed, all the railing, the grandstands, some of the other trimmings you see here, but 50 years of racing. Our last night of racing for this season in the regular season. Well underway. Our French X are getting another bell as that's Edison Clark Hoxie at the front getting the bell first. Javi taking over the front now down the back straight. He's looking ready to fight here tonight. He in a good position. Here comes Fairbanks, his teammate again, running at that wheel, looking to challenge. Wallen also coming into the turn. Mejia's got a long way to go from when he started that attack. Fairbanks on his way for the 5. Wallen for 5. Fairbanks 3. Mejia 2. And I didn't have my eye close enough on that final position. Someone picked up one. It was either on the outside or the inside there here between a ride from SAT and Team Epic. And 9 to go. Clark Hoxie confirmed to get the single point there on the back of that last sprint that I couldn't quite catch. It's 1 point to Clark Hoxie, 439 in that previous sprint. Points totals in second in the race. Kevin Wallen with 7. In third place, a tie between Dominic Clark and Gavin Fairbanks, both with 3. Mejia has 2. Brendan Lang 1. Edison Clark Hoxie 1. And of course your leader, Rocco Alexander, 10. 7 to go. Bell next time around. Six to go. Bell's ringing. Rocco's coming up and cheering on for selective people, maybe. People that haven't got many points, you know. If you're low on the leaderboard, go ahead and go win this sprint. Because he has no ability to influence it anymore. He's just watching this thing play out. Wallen trying to work his way up towards the front. Clark Hoxie for 5. Cody Chang 3. Kevin Wallen 2. I think that's Javi for 1. All right, who's coming for Rocco? It looks like Kevin Wallen is within a point of taking over the lead now with 9, the unofficial point total for our rider in second. Again, Wallen I have with 9 points unofficially in second place, if he even gets a single point. Although the argument was to be made that the tiebreak should go to the French exit sprint because that's the one where it's multiplied. I don't know. If you end on a tie, what is the ruling on that? Goes to the French exit sprint? Look at that. Race less laps and get the tie break. Crazy. So if Wallen picks up 1 point in the final sprint, it'll still be Alexander on top with the tie break going his way. Otherwise, Wallen's got the victory possibly ahead of him here. Everybody else has got quite a ways to go. Edison Clark Hoxie, although at 6 points, feels like it's a ways away. He could take over by winning the final sprint, ending up with a points total of 11. Everybody else, let's see where we're at here. Mejia, Chang, and Fairbanks all tied with 3 apiece. Also Dominic Clark with 3. Although I believe he made the exit earlier tonight. Brendan Lang with 1 point. Most of our riders here together in the group still. A couple off the back now as we're getting near the very end. The group's starting to get excited for this finish. That's Wallen leading things out. That's exactly who Alexander is rooting against. One to go. Wallen on the lead. Brendan Lang right behind him. There's Clark Hoxie and Cody Chang behind him. The way it's lined up, it looks like it's going to be Wallen going to be your victor, and that's going to give Rocco a second place finish here in the French exit from the looks of it. Wallen for 5. Oh, yes. Clark Hoxie speeding down the home straight. Not quite enough, though. He'll get 3 points. Good for third in this race. 1 point behind Alexander with 10. Cody Chang, I think, will find 2 points in that last sprint. And Brandon Lang, 1 point. Open women to the rail for the French exit. Question coming in on the live chat about the French exit. I'm going to say pretty confidently the answer here. Here's the question. It says, if you take the first sprint, then lap the field, then take the exit, do you get to keep the points there too? The answer is yeah. There's nothing in the rules that say you'd lose them. So there's your future strategy. Win the first sprint and catch the field before the second sprint is your best chance to set up for a victory on the sideline. You might not be able to race again for the rest of that night, but hey, that'd be a pretty convincing way to race the French exit. You too could ask amazing questions about these crazy race formats. If you're a subscriber on our YouTube and you type in the live chat, you're going to get the attention of me up here on the deck. So that's a great way to ask a question. Another way, it's kind of old-fashioned, but you could also just come over and yell at me a question if you really wanted to. I remember the days that Bilko would tell everybody to do that, and they would. They'd come up and yell questions up at him. Racing's underway. There's your whistle. 25 laps to go. Hey, we're back to a 25-lap race. That means the first sprint is going to be worth 15 points for the first racer across the line on the first sprint. .23 to go. Field's going to get their first bell at 21. Again, the multiplier is ×3 for the big 15 on this first sprint. And Charlotte Westover is Oregon trying 740 are feeling the field sitting still a bit too much. Been fun to watch this kid develop over the last year. Always willing to take risks like this just to kind of take the move off the front. Why not? Get stronger every single Friday night. Take a dip off the front there, check it out, see how the field responds, get a little bit stronger for the next acceleration. Right now, Laurel Safranek, number 12, watching Westover out in front, keeping it close. Here comes Lynch now, also accelerating the group just a bit more to bring it closer to Westover, who's going to be caught down the back straight here pretty soon. .21 to go. French exit upcoming. The sprint for 15. Edwards leading out the sprint alongside of Lynch, who comes up and up the saddle looking to get things going down the back straight. Look out for that ride of the year. Really going to be gunning for this one. I imagine Tomko does not want this one to get away from them. Snover following the wheel through the turn. Snover and Tomko in great position to fight for the French exit 15. Tomko, Snover, Tomko, Snover. Number 4 for 15. Tomko for 3, Edwards 2, and Cafiso 1. Now, Snover, I'm not sure. Is she going to exit? That's the thing. A 25-lap points race in this field, Snover could win that on a normal night with the normal rules. Why take the exit? I don't know. Get a few less laps? Why would she do that? That's not to her. That's not the way she rolls. So what was 15 points, I think is probably going to turn into 5. We'll have to wait and see. Question coming on the YouTube for somebody in the know. I don't know who that is. Epidemic Music is our main provider for our YouTube stream. That's right, Epidemic Music. They've been supporting our YouTube stream music for a while now. Yes, fantastic curated list, let me tell you. I downloaded it a few years ago, and it's always on repeat and shuffle. Enjoy. We're doing our best. Otherwise, we get hit with those copyrights, you know what I'm saying? Getting the applause for number 201, Hazel Baker there, our youngest rider in the field. Come across the finish line there a bit ago. Riders will be seeing 17 to go. And as expected, Snover does not exit yet. Now, it's still time. She could still make that calculation if she wanted to before the next sprint. As long as she gets out there, she gets to keep the 15. But if she sticks around for a couple more laps, that converts back to 5, and she'll continue to race the race as normal. 17 to go. Yeah, good point from Dominic, pointing out that double dipping would be a good reason to take the exit. As a couple of our riders here tonight, Snover frequently double dipping into the Cat 1-2s. We saw Rue double dipping this evening. All good reasons to consider the shorter race. But again, we're about to hear the bell, and they're still all in there. So nobody takes the exit. It's 16 to go. The funny thing in the French exit is if you had 15 and then you win the next sprint, you lose 5 points. That feels bad. Edwards took the exit, so she gets to retire with 2 points. I did see that. That's a good point. Snover losing 5 points on the sprint. Congratulations. It's the worst point result you've ever gotten. Tomko for 3, Cafiso 2, and Westover 1 point. My very unofficial points totals. 10 points to your leader, Alexi Snover. Rue Tomko in second with 6. Stella Cafiso in third with 3. Edwards in fourth with 2. Westover in fifth with 1. Results for previous French exit races. There was some mistake that it was caught, have been reposted into the results folder. French exit results have been reposted to fix some error. We were just postulating up here. Sean's a bright guy. He's up here working the cameras for the live stream. He's like, wait a second. If there's a bunch of racers that get 0 points, and I don't think I'm going to get points tonight, I should take the French exit because then I get the tie break with all those 0 point riders and I don't have to do the next 20 laps. That's a really good point. That's like the Belgian winning out times 10 in terms of like the backwards logic that some of these races create. I think that might be the most of the French exit strategies I've heard yet. That's incredible. I like that. Racing continues here. Our riders above the blue line, though, resting a little bit before the next sprint. They're going to get the bell on this lap. Seeing 11 to go. On deck, Cat 1-2s for the French exit. Bell's ringing, 11 to go. Caitlin Pellerbrook moves down into the lower lane there to take over the front to lead the lap. Lynch and Westover down the back straight with Lynch leading, Westover following. Here comes the punch from the back half of the group as it looks like Snover was saving this one. Drop in the field quickly. Snover looking good here again tonight. Picking up 5 on this one. Tomko for 3 more. Westover for 2 and Lynch 1. Congratulations, Alexi. You've gotten back to the points total that you started with after the first sprint. 15 points to your leader. Alexi Snover in second with 9 is Ruth Tomko. In third, tied with 3 each, is Charlotte Westover and Stella Cafiso. Edwards with 2, Lynch with 1. I am jesting and have a little bit of fun. The honest, real analysis is, again, if I'm Alexi Snover, if I take the 15 and leave, and I know I'm strong enough to win most of these sprints, to guarantee I win, why wouldn't you just go ahead and do that, get the extra laps, do the race? I get it. I get where it's coming from. Kind of takes away that French exit element of the race. However, sitting on the sideline, we've seen it tonight, it has not resulted in first. It's resulted in top 3 status. Pretty good for a racing 1/5 of a race. All right, working our way into this next sprint. 6 to go. A couple riders off the front is going to be Pellerbrook, followed by Tomko and Snover. 6 to go. Pellerbrook still on the lead of the lap down the back straight with Tomko and Snover waiting to pounce. Here comes the jump from both. The rider in green making another big acceleration. Snover and looking very quick here this evening. Great acceleration out of the field. Another big jump here for Snover, controlling the tempo and the pace here all throughout the race. 5 more for the rider from Fount. 3 for Tomko, 2 for Pellerbrook, and 1 for Safranek. In terms of the points, it might be a bit of a top-heavy race. However, the points are pretty well distributed otherwise. Nearly everybody's gotten a fair share of the points in this one. Your leader, Snover, now with 20. 12 points to Tomko in second. Cafiso and Westover both with 3. Pellerbrook and Edwards both with 2. Lynch and Safranek both with 1. And our favorites in our hearts, Hazel Baker, are looking for her first point. Think she might have made the exit too? I'm not sure. Where is she at? I'm looking for her. Yeah, she took the exit. Okay. Snover and Tomko together off the front. That's the combo coming on the home straight. The green and the Rider of the Year jersey together here. Your first 2 positions in the race with 3 to go. Reminder to keep hands and feet back away from the rail and not on the racing surface, please. Thank you very much. Appreciate your help with that. Couple riders still at the front is, of course, Snover and Tomko. Bells ringing for your final lap of the race. Snover and Tomko. Snover already your victor on the points with a point total of 20. Your rider in second. Tomko too far back to take over in the lead, but Tomko says that doesn't matter. I'm still going to put in a fast lap here. The proud junior here putting in another good lap, and we'll pick up the final 5 to end the race with Snover losing ground here. Tomko will end up second in your race after picking up the final 5. Snover, your champ, will end up with 23. Pellebrook leading the sprint from the field right now with Westover in the right position here to try to challenge. Westover passing down the home straight. Pellebrook fighting. Pellebrook will get it. Westover second across the line for 1 point out of the field. Cat 1-2s coming to the rail for the French exit. And on to our final group for the French exit tonight, the Cat 1-2 men. This, another longer one, so the points total is going to be even higher on this first sprint. That's right, quadruple multiplier, 20 points to the winner of the first sprint. They only get to keep the 20 if they take that exit. We'll see how this one plays out with our biggest field of the evening, the Cat 1-2s in the neutral for the last French exit of the evening. There's a whistle and racing's underway. 30 laps to go. 6x5 French exit. I'm excited to see which one of these riders is going to try to take the 20 here. And there are enough riders here. Whoever's gunning for it, I got to think they're going to try to play the strategy. The more riders there are in the field, the better chance the exit pays off. Because if you can think about it in this way, the more riders there are out there, there are more that will compete for those points on every sprint, the less likely that you have a runaway winner. Now, on a night like tonight, there are some pretty strong riders against this field. May not work out to their favor, we'll see. The first rider off the front is Ben Flom for the Shogun of Seattle race team. He's got himself a pretty strong lead here, over 50 meters in front of the rest of the field. It's currently being led out here down the back straight, it looks like, by the orange helmet. Everybody's all nearly single file behind. It's more Shogun of Seattle coming up now, trying to fight for the front. What's going on here? 28 to go. Flom on the lead. Conrad Mayer almost catching his teammate down the back straight as Ben Flom still in the lead going into turn 3. I gotta imagine there's a lot of riders that would love this 20 points. Again, I think in a field like this where we have a pretty even match, there's a lot of riders that'll be fighting for points tonight. That 20 feels like it's going to be pretty valuable. We found that the French exit multipliers have worked out pretty well to create this nice situation where, again, if the race works in your favor just right, you'll get the win. And the more riders there are, the longer the race is, the more likely things are going to get a little bit crazy, a little bit back and forth. It's hard to know how the race is going to go. Why not just get out of there with the 20, take that advantage, and see what happens? Lynch is getting the bell now on the front, driving this train pretty hard. He's looking like he's trying to really find this one. Your rider for Coalition, having himself a very good season. Really like the way this guy came into 2025, already looking powerful, and just had a lot of great racing this season in this position from the front. Tough to beat, but here comes one rider to challenge now. Whoa, the run at it through the corner. Wyatt Paul wants this one. Number 103 takes the big 20 to start. Let's see if he also wants to get out of here. Your current Elite Men Kilo record holder on our track from this season. He broke that record not too long ago. He is really pulling off the gas. I gotta imagine he'll be done for the evening. With 24 to go, Harrison Devine on the front now. Number 128 being followed by Newman. Two riders breaking away from the rest of the field. Paul's up along the rail, taking it nice and easy. He knows he's going to be making his way out with those 20 points and watching the rest of this thing unfold in front of him. Your points totals. Wyatt Paul, who just made the exit with 20 points. Martin with 3. Harrison Devine, 2. Andy Lynch, 1. So now again, what our early exiters hoping for is that a lot of different riders fight for points. Who's going to be dominant tonight? Is there anybody here who can just start picking up some big points and picking up several after another? Or is this going to go all over the place? We're going to have to wait and see. That looks to be Chris Wilson with Fountain Cycling Guild now in position to take over the front. Crowther in that light blue pursuing onto the home straight, in position now for points. Chris Wilson and Elliot Crowther in position at the front for points. Harrison Devine chasing them down. Lead of the field was Nolan Adams. He's pulling up for Gavin Newman now, who's all trying to catch on to leaders, keep it close as they accelerate away. Down the back straight, it's Crowther on the front as now Chris Wilson sitting on the wheel. Devine looks like he's trying to stay nice and arrow and work his way up towards the front. He's got good speed. He's on the turn right now. Can he make this thing fast at the front? Here comes Crowther and Wilson and Devine accelerating from all the way at the back. Wilson ends up getting 3. Devine for 5. Crowther 2. Fairbanks out of the field picks up 1. We got a break of 4. This could be interesting here. That's Devine, Crowther, Wilson, and Fairbanks forming the break. Here comes the rest of your field, being led right now by Ludo Max. The break does not have a lot of room, and this is going to be a quick catch from Andrew Martin. He does not want this thing to get away, so he's going to put in that closing effort. That's a pretty short gap for him to have to bring back. So off he goes. Sherfy will follow his lead as well as Nolan Adams. They gap the rest of the riders, though, a little bit here. So what was a lead of 4 might become 7. So the field now kind of becoming the scramble to the front. Eventually, it looks like it's all going to gather behind the leaders with 18 to go. Harrison Devine in second now with 7 points. Wyatt Paul still your leader with 20. After that, I've got Martin with 3, Wilson with 3, Elliot Crowther 2, Keegan Fairbanks and Andy Lynch with 1. Next bell at 16, leader seeing 17 now. The leaders get caught and kind of broken down a little bit, but that doesn't stop Fairbanks from going off the front again. Number 111 brings with him number 126. That's Mike Robson. So Robson and Fairbanks. We got the junior in the Stars and Stripes in the blue from 10-Speed Hero. Mike Robson doing some work here. Back to the field, a little bit of a slow tempo. As Newman and Martin come to the front, they're both going to pull up and let someone else find the front. And, of course, it's Harrison Devine willing to do the work. He gets there, and he'll re-accelerate things. The leaders. Looks like Fairbanks is trying to drop Robson now as they get ready for this sprint. 16 to go. Fairbanks trying to pull away. Robson losing a little bit of ground here, but he's holding on to the junior pretty well through the turn. The field's being led by Ludo Max right now. It comes up and out of the sprinter's lane to give room for Tyson Danielson, who also needs to get out of the way. Looks like that's going to be Lynch now taking over, followed by Devine. Back to the leaders. We've got the sprint coming on the home straight, just about to round out of turn 4. That's Fairbanks on the front. Robson's caught back on pretty well. Fairbanks is fighting for it. He'll get the 5. Robson for 3. With 15 to go, here comes the sprint now for 2 as Newman's come out of the group for 2 points. Devine finds 1 more. Your leader still Wyatt Paul with 20. Harrison Devine with 8 in second. 6 points to Keegan Fairbanks, currently in third. Robson with 3. Chris Wilson with 3. Andrew Martin with 3. Officials warning given to 149 Elliot Crowther for crowding the sprinter's lane. The call is official warning to Crowther, number 149, for crowding the sprinter's lane while it's occupied. 13 to go. Your lead group of 3. Looks like the combination starting to get caught here around the corner. The leaders are the group of 4 just behind that group of 3 who are about to go down, it looks like. And there's the call for those riders going down the lap. So those riders that were off the pace have now been caught, scored down the lap with 12 to go. That includes Mayer right there on the front. Dominic Clark's follow-up question is, following up on the previous question, if the winner of the first sprint gets lapped before they exit, do they lose 20? I gotta imagine yes. That's funny because they do sit up, and like there's a possibility that would happen if they don't exit fast enough. But again, the rules do not say that you are not eligible to have the lap scoring affect you after taking that first win. So I gotta imagine you'd also lose the 20 if you get lapped by the field. Don't let that happen either. Good point. Bells ringing for the field, including the leader out the front, Chris Wilson. Next rider up is Harrison Devine trying to chase him down. Andrew Martin's coming out of the field as well, looking to pick up some points here. Wilson is going to get caught through the turn. Look at the acceleration from these 2 riders. Martin doing what he does best out of the field. A nice bit of jump there in the final 200 meters. Martin, Devine. A little bit of chatter there across the finish line, but I think between Robson and Newman, some movement there, but we'll work to get the official call on both the points, make sure everything's all cleared up. Robson relegated from the previous sprint. Robson relegated. Number 126 from the previous sprint will be out of the points. We'll get the update shortly. Chris Wilson off the front again with 8 to go. He's looking back. Conrad Mayer leading the field will pull up. A couple quick rotations there, and there's Harrison Devine, who, when he finds the front, he's usually going to stick right there in that sprinter's lane and keep the pace up. He's not one of those riders to pull up before his turn is over. Always willing to do the work at the front here. He's also got great points, so it's not like it's not working for him. Seven to go. Keegan pulling away on the last lap. Still off the front now as the bell's ringing. I was getting the updates for the points already, so let's get those going while the bell's ringing. Your leader is still Wyatt Paul with 20. In second with 11 is Harrison Devine. In third with 8 is Andrew Martin. In fourth with 6 is Keegan Fairbanks. 4 points for Newman, 3 for Robson, also 4 for Chris Wilson. The leader is still Wyatt Paul, and he's still in a very good position. He might end up winning this thing. Fairbanks pulling away for the solo lap. 5 for Keegan. 3 for Adams, 2 for Devine, and 1 for Newman, unofficially. And with that last sprint, Wyatt Paul will be your winner. The closest somebody can get is Harrison Devine getting 5, which would bring him up to 18. So this is what Wyatt Paul was rooting for. He wanted to be kind of back and forth. There's 3 riders with nearly 10 points each. We got one with 13, one with 11, one with 8. So that's kind of what you're looking for, is several riders fighting for the top of the leaderboard for this French exit to really work out to your advantage, especially in these longer races in the bigger field. It feels like it is the move to make. You got to get out with the big 20 and watch this race unfold. That's exactly what we got going on here for Wyatt. He'll benefit nicely from the way this race is played out. 2 to go. Points totals again. Devine, your leader with your second place rider with 13. In third with 11 is Fairbanks, and in fourth with 8 is Martin. Wilson has 4. Adams has 3, Robson has 3, Crowther with 2, Lynch with 1. One to go. Final lap of the contest upcoming. Devine on the front of the lap, trying to ensure he ends up in second. Fairbanks would be the only one who could really take it away from him, and after that very impressive solo lap, he has fallen out of the field. So the sprint coming down the back straight, Robson sending one forward. The rider in blue for 10-Speed Heroes got one lined up here to the end. Grinsel, who I think lost the lap, is going to be able to fight for some points here. Robson 5, Grinsel 3, Ludomax 2, Harrison Devine 1 more will give him the second place finish. Wyatt Paul races 5 laps and gets the win. Riders, please exit on the back straight. Newman's taking an extra tour. Heads up. Catherie's making the way to the rail here. Cat 3s to the rail for your final race of the evening, the scratch race for all of our groups coming up next. Our last 4 races, one for each of our categories, is the classic scratch race. Scratch distance, it just means it's a race for the finish line. That's a simple one. 20 laps for the Cat 3s, currently in the neutral. First rider across the line at the end, of course, will be your winner for the final race of regular season. What a great way to close things out here. Scratch racing coming up for each of our categories. Coming up next, Cat 4s, followed by the Open Women. Racing's underway, 20 to go. I might be a little bit less active in the analysis here. We've got a group of 10 racing a scratch race for 20 laps at the end of a night. So they're a little bit more gassed. There's not a lot of incentive here in the beginning of the race to go too quick. It's going to be pretty passive here. I imagine for a few laps, you're going to see some, maybe a couple of attempts here and there. But for the most part, we're just working our way down towards this finish. So whoever's on the front, they're going to do some work. We're pulling things through. Don't want to be too crazy here, though. Got to get to the end to really make this thing count. And with a smaller field size, you got to be smart about when you're going to spend that effort. $16 to go, still all together. Again, it kind of was predicted. This is going to be the format for a while. As some riders get to the front, they might re-accelerate, pick things up a bit. You don't want to get too aggressive, just keeping it a good clip. Here's the first kind of bigger acceleration of the race we've seen. Clearly with some good endurance here, our rider from ACT, David Takahashi, coming to the front and taking a full lap. So here's the first kind of posturing of the race. Kind of a reminder of the speed. Who's here to race this scratch race tonight? Got to keep it quick for the fast finishers. You got to make it quick for those riders with the big power, with the big finish. And that was a good pull there for Takahashi, who gets things rolling again. Zach Simon on the front now, looking around to see the reaction as he keeps the tempo up. This does enough to kind of pull things apart just a little bit on the back end, so you can see the cost being paid by the legs of some riders here holding on to this recent acceleration. 14 to go. Seeing 11 to go. Group still all together. Eight to go. Field seeing 6 to go. 6 to go. Now we're getting to the critical point of the scratch race where the next couple laps are going to be really important to watch. And even as I'm starting to talk about it, it's already slowed back down. So that's kind of like there's going to be in the next few laps this feeling of something might happen. There's going to be a little bit more eyes looking side to side. You might see things shorten up a little bit here as riders might save their speed. You might see things stretch out again as we get some bigger reaccelerations. This is where things are getting lined up for the finish. So 5 to go. You're going to see a little bit of more greediness in the positioning in this pace line. And as we're talking about it, here goes Takahashi feeling that now's the time to set something forward. Your rider from ACT works his way all the way from the back of the field. Otis Hatfield's right there on the wheel to follow him, that rider in blue in second position. Rider of the year, Carlson, in third wheel spot. As Takahashi pulls up, he's been followed. He's not getting anywhere. Says, I'm not going to work for you. 4 to go. Everything flattens back down again. Carp coming all the way to the front. Some quick rotations now as many riders working their way through this. And now we're having that flattening again where things are all back all together, getting up above the blue line. Riders condensing, narrowing down this field a bit. This gives a chance for Westover to take over the front down that sprinter's lane. He works his way up underneath the rest of the group as they rest and watch each other. Westover still looking around to see if there's any response. Nothing coming yet. Your rider in green off the front a little bit here. Field's starting to roll things up again. 3 to go. On the front of the field is number 339. That's going to be Zachary Simon again for Coalition, leading us around for the catch here on the back of Westover. Continues to try to lead things down the back straight. If you're one of the 42 currently watching live out there on YouTube, thanks for tuning in on our Friday night. It's our final race night of the regular season. We have a couple postseason races, and we'll continue to try to stream any Friday nights we have here as best we can, but only a few things left here before the end of the 2025 race season officially. Tonight, the last night of our regular season, so our Rider of the Year is all championed after tonight. And we're in for the final race for each of these categories during this evening. So the Cat 3s in their scratch race now really rolling it up for the bell. You can see Zachary Simon down there in the sprinters lane is currently leading Ryle Carlson around the track. We've seen Simon do this before, try to make this a long sprint from the front. He's going to try it one more time here at 1 to go. Zach Simon on the front. Ryder Carlson right on the wheel. Here comes Ritter falling, as well as Takahashi. We saw take that attack a few laps back. Takahashi currently in fourth wheel. The move out from the back of the group. Hatfield's also in here trying to make some positional changes now. Here comes the attack from Carlson. Nice speed and good acceleration from the junior. Ritter's on his wheel. Here, the winner of the French exit first lap here for this field, trying to do it here on the last lap. Ritter and Carlson. Ritter's got to back off a bit. Carlson will take this final scratch here tonight. The Rider of the Year, happy with that result. Nice racing tonight for our Cat 3s. All competitors will exit. Cat 4s to the rail. Cat 4 men in the neutral for the 15-lap scratch, their final race of the evening. 2 more to follow. We got the scratch for the open women, and finally our Cat 1-2 men, our last race of the night. Whistle sounded, racing is now underway. 15 to go in the scratch. I don't have the power of prophecy, but I will probably predict a pretty similar format here. Although this is a bigger group than our Cat 3s. There's a few more riders here. They're also gear restricted, so they have a little bit more even playing field when it comes to the way their bikes are set up to compete in our Cat 4s. And, again, end of the race night. So fairly long scratch on the smaller gearing of the Cat 4s. Probably going to be a pretty moderate first half of this race. We might see some stuff start to open up at around the 7 to go mark. In fact, right now they're not even in true pace line. They're sitting pretty wide across the track, taking up a lot of room here. That's really demonstrating. We're just kind of rolling this thing for now. This will extended neutral at 13 to go. Group rolling around here, starting to kind of get things more lined up down the sprinters lane. Seeing 11 to go. There's Kevin Wallen at the front, number 478. Dan Pham, number 466, taking a turn on the lead of the lap. Nine to go. Rider of the Year jersey on the front. There's Rock Alexander. Dominic Clark right behind, number 433, to take over the front. Raymond Chang, number 405, at the front at 8 to go. Pulls up and out of the way for Rider of the Year now, taking over the front again. This is about where I predicted that things might start opening up again. It's still a long ways from the finish, but you might see a little bit of scramble here and there now, maybe a little bit of effort being spent at the front to kind of try some stuff, test the waters. In this size of group, you got to start thinking about maybe wearing down some of your opponents. You got to be smart about where you're putting yourself in the field over the next 3 or 4 laps. This things just might get a little bit interesting here with 7 to go. Currently in 2 lines with Wallen down there in the sprinters lane. Smagley at the blue line for the Jerry Baker Jr.'s team. Six to go. 477 here at 3 to go. Making the attack is Micus Herman. Now off the front here by a fair margin, so now we're really starting to feel the pressure mount and build for the finish. Herman wants to get himself away from the rest of the field. Eddie pushing the pedals here, rolling things up quickly. Team Epic takes over the front. Got a long ways to go though, 2 to go. With 2 laps remaining, the field not in too much of scramble response yet, although you can tell if you're not responding to this, you're going to start getting dropped here as everybody's now getting up to speed. Heading down the back straight, being led out currently by a rider of the year jersey, Rocco Alexander, although barely leading out anybody. It's so spread out. He's not really helping anybody with that slipstream. Working to hold on to Clark Oxy, who's still in the front. 1 to go on your final lap of the scratch. 1 to go. Clark Oxy still in position, leading out the Kilo effort. Rock Alexander, the next closest rider right now. Kevin Wallen also positioning himself nicely, now starting to take over. Heading into turn 3, Wallen starting to chase down Clark Oxy. Rider for Epic still in front all the way around to the home straight. Wallen in position to challenge, now hitting the front straight. Here we go, Wallen and Clark Oxy. Wallen does enough. Clark Oxy with an impressive attack with 3 to go. Lines it up on the back straight, kind of gets things rolling, and is out there for a long time. Still manages to find second place. Wallen follows the Rider of the Year jersey for the catch and makes it all the way up to the front. Another scratch race on dock for us here tonight. It's the Open Women, currently neutral. They'll be having a 20-lap contest starting if they're all together here shortly. On deck, the final race of the evening. Category 1-2 men for the conclusion of our race program. We did get the whistle. Racing is underway. 20 laps to go. Westover and Tomko combining off the front. Tomko in the lead down the back straight, with Westover trying to hold on to that wheel. 17 to go. Snover, Tomko, and Westover forming the break of 3. Field being left currently by Pellebrook, number 28, pulling up for Edwards. .13 to go, and our break of 3 settling back into the field now. 13 to go. 7 to go. Now the break's starting to form here between Snover. Looks like we got Safranek and Tomko working together with her. Three to go. Seeing 2 to go. Next time around, final bells ringing for the finish on the scratch. Pellbrook on the lead of the lap. Cafiso right behind. There's Westover, number 6, third in the lineup, who will take the final scratch for the regular season. Tomko starting to roll things up from the group now, taking over on the front down the back straight. Snover trying to work her way through the field. Will work her way out now in front of the rest of the group. Tomko, they've still got good position. Snover in the chase. The rest of the field fighting over third place as they have been for the rest of this evening. It's been the Tomko and Snover story tonight. One more time around for Tomko and Snover on the front. 1 to go. Westover leading the rest of this field. Cafiso right behind her. In the field, back to the leaders with Tomko still in control. Trying to make this last lap work out. Snover has found herself in that slipstream. The fight is on. And one more pass tonight. Snover and Tomko. It'll be Snover on the final catch. Great racing between these two. Out of the group, it's Laurel Safranek advancing from the field to take third overall from that field sprint. Cat 1-2 men to the rail for the scratch race in our last race of the evening. Cat 1-2s to the rail.
Said the things we promised not to say, then we break up just to start all over, even though we know this is the hard way to better. We can't be heartache together. This is the hard way to better. We can't be heartache together.
Riders out into the neutral for a 30-lap scratch race. Our final race of the evening and our biggest field. Could be dynamic here tonight. Big finish for the regular season for this group. Currently the neutral. Racing is underway. 30 to go. Wow. 27 to go. The pace line is well settled in now. Good tempo in the early part of this race. Crowther at the front moves out of the way for Chris Wilson. Plenty of laps still to go. Again, they just passed the line with 27 remaining, so a long scratch race to close out the night for all of our fields. Not the longest we've seen around here, but a 30-lapper, still a pretty good finish for what has been a pretty strong night here for these groups. Spread out wide at 26 to go. With Divine at the front, a little bit of extra pressure on the front of the group, a small snap in the middle there. Things will come together, no problem, but you can see the threat Divine makes whenever he moves to the front. He threatens that kind of acceleration, that pull-away speed. Slight reset here. Robson will take off underneath the group. Divine will match suit, as does Chris Wilson. 24 to go. 23 to go. Ben Flom down there in the sprinter's lane leading the lap. With 22 on the lap cards. Divine off the front with Robson in pursuit. There's Ben Flom and a few more with him. Just off the front of the field. Ten laps down, 20 to go. Little Max for Beat Cycling at the front. Looks to be Crowther lining up an attack down the middle of the blue line as there's got a bit of a lane there, the field. No response just yet. Able to sneak away here. 19 to go. Field all above the blue line for now. Divine starting to feel the threat of this move from this lone rider. The field kind of waiting, I think, for Divine to start this thing up. They respond to his wheel quickly. There's Newman. White Paul following as well. Winner from that second race is Paul. Got some fresh legs. He's going to be ready for this longest scratch race. He'll be one to watch if he can cover some of these moves and be in the right position. Speaking of covering moves, Divine does nearly a full lap to help bring this thing a lot closer. Martin finds the front. He might just keep this thing going too. Just for a little bit. He'll pull up quickly. Some more quick rotations. Divine is absolutely going to do what he needs to do to finish this, though, as he'll keep it rolling quick. Trying to get Crowther back within the clutches of this field with 17 to go. This should just about do it as he sees Harrison Divine swing up into turn one. Crowther says, that's enough of that. Starfield recombining themselves now. A couple of riders moving out of position. A few quick rotations and back and away we go. The scratch race continuing at 16 laps remaining. $15 on the lap cards. We're halfway there. 15 to go. There's Crowther again, Hafer joining in on the effort this time, so he's got a partner. Devine kind of rolling up into the hill and back down the sprinter's lane, being followed by Newman, now looking to bridge up towards the leaders. Here comes Martin out of the field as well, the rider with that white helmet and the blue jersey. Leaders are still Crowther and Hafer at 13 to go. Devine in pursuit. There's Newman, Martin, and Wyatt Paul following the lead of the other chasing riders. $12 to go. $11 to go. 3 riders now moving there off the front again. Here comes Crowther one more time to try to cover some aggression at the front. He's been the one off the front of this field multiple times. He'll join back in on this effort. He's trying to get something to get developed here. Arnoldi tuning in, cheering on his teammates, saying money's on Wyatt. That's a good bet, considering how strong he looked in that French exit, how easy he made that win look, and he gets the extra race laps there to rest. The rest of the field's out there. He's back on the infield resting it up. Wyatt Paul's definitely got a good chance at this race, but he's nowhere near this break right now. Lynch bringing up a couple riders. There's Nolan Adams, Andrew Martin. Now finally Harrison Devine is going to make this bridge effort here. The front of the group is not really hustling too hard right now, so this should give an opportunity for everybody, including Wyatt Paul, to jump across that little gap, close this thing back down, shorten that distance a little bit, and work their way up to this front group. And that's exactly what's going to happen here. Is the front of this lead group just really wasn't in their full turn of power. There wasn't really that pull away speed. So we'll recombine things back together again. We're under 10 laps remaining. They just passed the line with 9 to go. And seeing 8 to go. Trying to make another one stick. Here comes Crowther to join the front 3 one more time. He says, let's just keep going. Every time the field sits, he's trying to push forward again, set up another aggressive position. Now, looks like Ryder's found his way again into this field, so we're doing another open invite for some of our Cat 3s to join in on the scratch race. So Robson being left alone here at the blue line. He's thinking about abandoning. He'll just move right back down to that sprinter's lane and keep it rolling again. Field's going to wait together. Look at it all sitting right behind Devine. Again, the expectation is that this guy's got the ability to continue to catch these leaders. Why don't we just wait for him to go? Nothing yet. Robson looking over his shoulder. He sees he's got a pretty good position. He's going to keep it going. Keep on the pedals at 6 to go. The field now being led by Newman as he accelerates things. Everybody kind of going down the sprinter's lane, following his acceleration. Fairbanks quickly out of the sprinter's lane as now a couple more rotations, leaving Ludo Max at the lead for just a moment. Nobody wanted to do too much. Just a couple of seconds at the front before peeling off quickly at the end of this scratch. Robson still just dangling off the front. A little bit of the carrot on the stick move here for Robson, who's still within reach from this field, but just far enough ahead to be a nuisance here at 5 to go. Grinsell now leading the catch. Carlson and Devine right behind him. Devine thinking he can do the next 200 with some good speed here. Start to work against this lead of Robson. Who's next to do some of the work? Paul's going to pick up here towards the top. No surprise to see several riders in that field rotate around, forcing Divine again to do the work to catch at 4 to go. He'll start to gap a little bit here on the rest of the group as he's a little quicker on top of the gears. Paul's got the power, though, to start rolling this thing back up. He'll start working this back together again. Make Divine do the work to go the distance. As soon as Divine's caught, he's sitting up. He says, nope, you got to finish it. Kind of playing this cat and mouse a little bit on the front, a little bit of back and forth, a little jockeying for who's going to do this work to catch Robson, who continues to be the carrot on the stick, the prize at the end of the tunnel. Fairbanks says, don't forget about me. I'm going to go ahead and jump up to this guy. Let's see what I can do. The field lets the kid roll here. He's had a hard time being in the top 5 position tonight, but he's had some really good laps, and he's looking good tonight. This could be a very powerful move for Fairbanks. Looking aggressive here now as Robson's going to try to re-accelerate and get on his wheel. Divine coming out of the field, gapping a little bit on Wyatt. 2 to go. Fairbanks kind of diving up and down, maybe looking for some help, doesn't really get it. Divine's going to pull up, also not willing to bring Wyatt Paul too far forward again. He's going to sit up and wait. The calculus here, back and forth, uncertain who's going to do the work. Out of the middle of the field is Josh Sherfy for Coalition. He takes the sprinter's lane. Good acceleration for Sherfy, now moving his way to the front. Conrad Mayer following his wheel. Sherfy's going to catch quick. Wyatt Paul leading the chase for the next 4 riders, and we've got our bell. At 1 to go. Robson, Fairbanks, and here goes Sherfy to take over the front. Conrad Mayer's chasing. Wyatt Paul's in a great position as he's going to start working his way up as well. Andrew Martin following his wheel. Around the corner, Paul leading the line of what's going to be the fast finishers if they can catch the front. Sherfy still holding on to the front. Here comes the move from Martin now, working around at the blue line. Martin trying to catch on to Sherfy. Sherfy still so far ahead. Martin showing great acceleration. Ooh, Martin will get the final scratch. Newman read it well, didn't quite get the spacing he needed. Got a little bit trapped for just a moment in turn 4, but Newman for Team Epic, very smart race, almost finds the finish along the wheel of Martin, who shows that, again, he's been the master this season of the bunch sprint. Every time these riders are together, somehow Martin finds a way to pick up some really big victories with great finishing speed. He does it again here tonight on the scratch. Fans and friends of the Velodrome, that is the end of our race program tonight. And that means it's also the end of the regular season. Crazy to be saying those words out loud. We're not done with everything just yet. We've got some postseason ahead of us. We've got celebrations in the offseason coming up here to celebrate our Riders of the Year and all the great racing, and of course, a couple more postseasons. So look forward to those. Some more things going on here at the Velodrome as we're wrapping up in the month of September. However, that is a wrap on the regular season for 2025. Our 50th anniversary season is coming to a close. With that, once again, it's worth just another quick round of quick thank yous to everybody. Our online audience, of course, our fans that are here in the Velodrome still this late at night, our true fans of the sport. Our officials for another fantastic season of safe and efficient racing here. Thank you for your support. Our staff and volunteers. My friends up here on the deck, my live stream crew. Another great season of regular racing here and all of our special events. We'll continue to level up the service we provide for you folks out there online. And of course, the most important people in all of this, our racers. Thank you for another fantastic season. It's been fun being with you for all these great moments together. Hopefully your postseason is productive and fun. We'll hopefully see you for our celebrations and all the end-of-year things that are coming up. Congratulations to our Riders of the Year and all of those with great results tonight. It's been another great night of racing. Next year, 2026, we'll be back, I promise. More great regular season racing will be here. I know you'll be looking forward to it. In the meantime, thank you once again for joining us. It's been our absolute pleasure, and we look forward to hosting you for more great racing right here at the Jerry Baker Memorial Velodrome.